Scientists, Mr. Stafford here, and this is part 2 of Code.org's Computer Science Principles, Unit 3, Lesson 3, Design an App. So with this part 2, this is where we're actually building our app and the prototyping phase. So the first thing that we have on our activity guide that needs to be filled out is writing down the elements and the actions of our app. So we're going to use the program specification we drew as a starting point, but knowing that as we develop an app, things can change, that's totally normal and totally fine. So again, you should have a drawing here on this page, and you can use this as a starting point for your elements. And again, you may be working with a partner, okay? And so this could be identical to your partner, but help each other out and work together. So again, the element ID should be explicit, like what button is it? In this example, it's a dog button. How do you interact with it? What is the action that you are doing, right? For this app, a lot of your interactions might just be clicks, but what happens after you do click that button, okay? Does something appear? Does a sound, does it make a sound? Or does it take you to a different screen, okay? In this example, when we click the dog button, a picture of a dog appears and the background of the screen changes to green, okay? So fill this out. If you have more elements beyond this many, I'm totally fine with you stopping. It's at that point that I know that you understand how your app should work. On the next page, this is your testing phase. You'll need to test your app to make sure that it works as expected. To do that, find at least 2 other classmates, other than your partner if you're working with a partner, and this could be friends or family members to work with your app. Now, if you're working on this in class, you can have somebody physically come over to your computer, or you can share a link to your app. And the way that you do that is when you're in code.org and you're programming your app, you can click on this share button, and you can either share a link with them or text it to somebody. All you need to know is their phone number. But here's what you should do. So ask students to read through the program specification requirements, ask them to use the app and test out the different behaviors included in your specifications, and then write down anything that you notice them finding confusing or broken. And you can dialogue with them as well. And then ask them to share anything that they recommend for improvement. So again, take the name of the person that is using your app, things that can be improved upon based on just you watching them use your app, and then anything that they explicitly stated to improve your app, okay? And then what I want you to do is pick an improvement. How can you improve your app? And so pick at least one improvement you plan to make to your app based on the feedback that you collected from your classmates. So 2 improvements is optional, but 1 is what I'm expecting. And this could be something as simple as making a button bigger or changing up the color of a button, okay? And then step 8, complete your app, make sure that you've tested it thoroughly, and once it's completed, what I want you to do is this reflection, okay? There are 2 questions that you need to respond to on this document. So I want to be able to read it, so handwriting is important, and I want you to describe the overall purpose of the program. You can start with this sentence starter. The purpose of my program is to blah, blah, blah. Okay, what is the purpose? Then I want you to describe the functionality. The functionality is how it works. How do users interact with your app? And then describe the inputs and the outputs. Now, largely, you may be mentioning in the functionality some of the inputs and the outputs, and that's okay if you have a duplicate. And then question number 2 is, this project was created using a development process that requires you to incorporate the ideas of your partner and feedback from your classmates. So if you didn't have a partner, you're still interacting with classmates. So provide a written response that describes one part of your app that was improved through input from either your partner or feedback you received from a classmate. So things that I want you to include is who specifically provided the idea or the recommendation, and what their idea or recommendation was. So who provided it, what was it, and then how specifically did you change your app? Did you change a color? Did you change the size? Did you move something around? Okay, so the specific change you made to your app's user interface or the functionality in response to the recommendation, and then how you think that this change improved your app. Okay. Now, one of the last things that I want you to do is share this app in this way, because I'm going to print this off and hang this in our classroom. So I want you to tell me what the app name is here, so change that, and then give me 1 or 2 sentences about your app. This could be the purpose of your app that you just copy and paste from above. Okay. I want you to replace this picture with an image of your home screen. So you'll have to take a screenshot. So you can Google how to take a screenshot and then replace this image with a screenshot of your particular app. Okay. And the next thing is I want people to be able to use your app. So you're going to follow these steps to make a QR code of your app. Again, I've talked about the share button in code.org. You'll click on share, click send to phone, and then you can right-click QR code, copy and paste it right here. So you'll make it, I want you to make the QR code very large. And then say your name here. Who was it created by? Okay. And then this is the rubric. This is how you will earn 100% on this project. Okay. Your user interface has to have at least 3 screens. I want to be able to easily navigate between your screens, and you have to include at least these 3 elements: text, image, and audio. Your code should run without errors, and when you bring in an element, you should rename the ID to something appropriate. So if it's a dog button, like it'll send you to the page of a dog or shows a dog, name it dog button. And it should be clear what your app is about. So the app topic is clear. You have fully filled out this planning guide. You have 2 written responses. They should be answered appropriately and using proper English conventions. So capitalizing the first letter of your sentence, using periods, proper punctuation, spelling, and grammar. And that's for both of your responses. And sharing your app with me, right? Giving me the home page screenshot and the QR code.